YouTube? This is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your Week 16 tight end start and sit video. Again, we are now in round 2 of most people's playoffs, so this is a very crucial week for you guys. We've obviously have games for Saturday, a lot of games on Saturday for Christmas Eve, some games on Sunday for Christmas Day, and Monday night, we've got a beautiful, beautiful game as well. So again, make sure you guys are ready and prepared. If you guys have not already, make sure you check out our other start and sit videos, our running back, quarterback, and wide receivers to help you guys get the best possible lineups to get you guys some victories this week. Now, these are your obvious starts at the tight end position. I've had a couple players that I don't always have in the obvious start, like Evan Ingram, who's been doing really well lately. I put Hawkinson back in there, and obviously Schultz, and then, of course, Kelsey, and then you could put Kittle in there. So these are my obvious starts at the tight end position. Now, as far as a recommendation as a good start this week is, I have Mark Andrews versus the Falcons. This is a lot of faith and trust in this one. There's no reason to necessarily start him per se because Lamar's still out. Got Huntley in, and ever since Huntley, and realistically the end of Lamar right before he got hurt, Andrews has been just straight up horrendous. Nothing but short, but have just been at the bottom. So it does worry me, obviously, still with the fact that Lamar's missing this game. Andrews has not been, playing up to his Pro Bowl level, all-star type of thing. But the reason why I like this is a turnaround game. This has got to be a turnaround game for him. It's the playoff week. I know it's a little gutsy and trust. You're really trusting in him in this, but the Falcons give up a lot of points. They give up 14.5 points and 60 yards on average to the tight end position. They also have given up 4 touchdowns the last 3 games alone. So if there's going to be a game that Mark Andrews actually finally has won, this is it. This is the Falcons. They're not a good defense. They allow points to happen. The tight end, like Mark Andrews, has to win because the Ravens need to win to continue going to this playoffs with a strong little push. So I like him as a nice little start. Another tight end I recommend this week is going to be Jordan Akins versus the Titans. Titans allow 14.2 points and 6 receptions, 70 yards to the tight end. That's a lot. They're giving up quite a bit. Last week, they only gave up 8 points to Gerald Everett, which wasn't great, but also Donald Parham's back, so that also affected Everett. But the week before, everyone remembers 33 points to Evan Ingram. So they do give up points. Akins is not going to do that. Akins did just have 11 points this past week against the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is something where I feel like, he can get you to those double-digit points, which is what you're looking for. You want at least 10 to 15 points out of your tight end, which will help you a lot. I see a 5 to 7 reception area, 30 to 50 yards, somewhere around there. Again, 10 to 12 points would be a good game for Jordan Akins. Noah Fant's another one. He's going against the Chiefs this week. Seattle will have to keep up with the Kansas City offense. With that said, losing Lockett does hurt Seattle, but I think it actually benefits Noah Fant. I think Disley's going to get involved a little bit more too, but I like Noah Fant a lot in this one as far as a good start. Chiefs allow 12.6 points to tight ends. Fant has been seeing about 5 targets the last few weeks on average as well. So he's going to get that 5 to 7 target range. Again, converting them into, a 5 to maybe 6 reception game. Again, maybe a sprinkle in a touchdown because that's been helpful for him. He had 14 points the last week. So again, I like this matchup. The Seahawks have to keep up with Kansas City, especially as far as the playoff race goes. They've got to try to win this game. So again, with Lockett out, I like Noah Fant as a nice little upgrade there. Now, the first tight end I'm going to have as a sit is David Njoku versus the Saints. Saints have only allowed double-digit once to a tight end this whole season. They allow 8.8 points on average to the tight end and only 33 yards. On top of that, they've only allowed 2 touchdowns this whole season. This is a very tough matchup for Njoku and Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson still hasn't had a full season with all of his skill set players. Njoku's one of them. Njoku has the skills. He's very good tight end. I like him. He was really strong going into this season. But with Watson in this offense, it's just different, right? And it's nothing to blame him. He's obviously missed a large portion of this season. He's still getting in rhythm with his offense. Njoku's just a tough matchup, again, with the Saints too. So I'm not putting him in my lineup. Another tight end I'm sitting this week is Dawson Knox versus the Bears. Bears have only allowed 4.56 points to the tight end all season on average. That is ridiculous. They've only allowed over 50 receiving yards once this whole season as well. So as far as a Bears defense goes, they do a really good job. They really do a good job against the tight end. Dawson Knox is very inconsistent tight end and has others to compete with as far as getting targets. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis. You've got McKenzie, right? You got Singletary. You got Cook. I mean, there's so many weapons for the Buffalo Bills. That makes it even more challenging for Dawson Knox in this aspect. Plus, you got a cold and windy game coming up. Obviously, I think this is played in Chicago. So that's also going to be tough and challenging. I mean, realistically, everywhere it's going to be cold. I mean, heck, even in Florida, they're getting to the 20s and 30s. So it's going to be a cold game for almost every game unless you're in a dome. So again, tight end, Dawson Knox, I'm sorry, you're sitting this week. Another tight end I'm sitting is going to be Juwan Johnson versus the Browns. I normally would recommend Juwan. I like his red zone threat, and he still has that possibility in this game just because the lack of weapons. Chris Olave's out. Landry's on. I mean, there's so many, obviously, issues with the Saints offense. So realistically, there's not a lot of weapons. So maybe Juwan has a little bit better game than I anticipate. But the Browns have held tight ends like Freiermuth to 6 points, Everett to 1 point, Mark Andrews to 6 points. They do a really good job against the tight end, only allowing 2 touchdowns all season. And in the last 3 games, only 1 touchdown. So it's a really tough matchup for Juwan. He's got to be in the red zone for him to actually have any type of possibility of a threat. Again, Juwan, normally a good start. I'm putting him as a bench this week. I didn't really have any good sleepers this week. I had Chigo in there, but with the fact that you're losing Tannehill and Malik Willis is going in there, man, does that offense completely change with Malik Willis. He's not ready yet at all. And I don't think that benefits Chigo. Maybe he does those short passes and Chigo's got, 5 to 6 receptions and he might sneak in there, but he was the only one I kind of considered. You could also think about Cade Otton, or maybe if you have Cameron Brate as well, as far as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's some pretty good tight ends that have a really good matchup because Arizona gives up the most points to tight ends. It's just tough because Cameron Brate coming back really affects Otton, and I really liked Otton going into this week. But Brate actually had less snaps, but he had more targets his way. So it's really there's just too much variables in that matchup that I just don't know where the ball is going to go, if it's going to go to Brate or if it's going to go Otton. So I don't feel comfortable necessarily starting either one. Maybe if you're maybe in a premium tight end league and you've got one of those guys, you might want to put him in there just to kind of get some extra points. But again, there's not a great amount of tight end starts this week. So those are my start, sits, and sleepers for the Week 16 tight end edition. If you guys have not already, make sure you check out our other start and sit videos, our running back, quarterback, and wide receivers. Again, thank you guys so much for what you guys have done this season. The season's almost getting to the end, but that does not stop us. We'll be obviously talking Dynasty once the season's over. Start planning out those and obviously start talking about rookies once that gets here as well. So again, there's a lot of content coming. So thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that notification bell is on. If you guys did enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button as well. It's greatly appreciated. This community is just continuously growing and you guys have been amazing. So thank you guys so much. We're getting closer and closer to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So thank you guys. Enjoy your family, enjoy the games this weekend, have a great Christmas, and just have a good time. And I'll check you guys out next time.